Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawud from the Men Valley campaign in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing, it can be edifying. And I have this article right here from zerohedge.com. All right, we're gonna get right into it. All right, your boy Nero the Lord is working on his mind to fulfill prophecy. All right, nothing more. So let's get into it. Trump threatens to take out the entire country of Iran tomorrow night. Demands free traffic of oil and Hormuz. Right, because if you've been keeping up, which we should all be keeping up with this. Right, the Lord said He set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Right? Jerusalem currently isn't a praise in the earth. All right, we're leading to that. All right, but this current system has to be completely decimated. And that's what we're seeing. Trump is that driving force that's bringing down the world economy, that's going to transition. He at least, we don't know if he's going to finish it because his damn health is bad. All right, and the Lord could send him to the spirit world. But either way, he got in there. All right, his cult of personality, he was able to get in there, sign all these executive orders. He chilled out a little more. He killed Soleimani during his first term, but he didn't go as hard as he went since he became president the second time. All right, signing hundreds of executive orders, just signing shit. He was holding it up. They were showing it to your face. All right, the big, beautiful bill, all of these things, they acted as if they were going to help, Americans, but that wasn't the case. So now he's started this war, right? And he's put himself in a conundrum. Look that word up. He's put himself in a conundrum to where, he wants this straight back open because he's lying to you people. The price of your gas is going up in direct correlation to the so-called Middle Eastern oil. All right, that we import, that is bought in U.S. dollars. All right, that's where the United States dominance, as well as his sword, has come from. Esau has used his economic power, sanctioning nations, putting embargoes on nations. All right, and if you don't comply, they'll just bomb your ass, man. All right, Iran is that victim right now, but they're fighting back. And the fact that they've mined the Strait of Hormuz and they've opened it for, allies of them, they're not opening it for America. Why would Iran want to negotiate with you at this point, America? You've shown to the world that you're not diplomatic. You paraded yourself all this time about being diplomatic, but on two occasions you attempted to call them negotiations, and your entire plan was to attack them anyway. So now best believe China's looking at you. Russia's looking at you. They seeing how you handle Venezuela. They're seeing how you're handling Iran. They don't want to do business with you anymore. So let's read into this, and we'll read this summary. We'll get scriptures. It says Trump threatens Iran can be taken out in one night, maybe tomorrow. All right, that's very audacious to say. All right, that probably won't happen. Because if they do attempt it, that's when you're going to have these other nations get in, because if they're talking about some type of pocket nuke or some shit, then, that changes the game. That changes the framework of this war. It says, in one night, maybe tomorrow, warns every bridge and power plant will be destroyed. Wall Street Journal reports U.S. military is making preparations for potential strikes on energy targets in Iran. Universities and airports are already being hit. A Sunday night Axios report on a U.S. proposed 45-day ceasefire has by Monday morning been rejected by Iran, which later on Monday issued a 10-point letter via Pakistan. Israel strikes large petrochemical plant at South Pars, which is responsible for half of the country's petrochemical production. Trump reaffirms Tuesday's deadline before vital infrastructure gets attacked as final. Ooh. Calls Americans oppose to the Iran war foolish. All right, hey, we're not opposing this war. All right, we know this war is going to help bring forth World War III, which is going to further, bring forth the end of this man's kingdom. But a lot of his supporters are against this war. Why? Because your sons and your daughters are going to have to go fight, because they've sent 50,000 troops, and they're going to send more to the so-called Middle East. And guess what? The Israelis said they're not cooperating with the ground invasion. So you're going to have American boots on the ground, but you're not going to have Israeli boots on the ground. And the Israelis are the ones that wanted this. All right, when Bibi kept pulling up, man, this is what this was for. Israel kills experienced longtime head of IRGC intelligence. Iranian missile strike on Haifa residential complex kills 4. So again, war is going on, and best believe you still have the incursion going on in Ukraine. All right, we're in a time of war, and the hammer of the earth is being cut asunder and broken. I'm gonna read that again. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? We're seeing how it's lining up. First, his credibility is being stripped. All right, the world is starting to see America as the fucking bully that it is. And Trump that's ruling over it is the perfect embodiment of American Edomite pride. This arrogancy. You see what he's saying? He's saying we're going to destroy all of Iran tomorrow if y'all don't comply. Playing bully ball. But Esau has lost the plot with this war. And when Esau loses the plot, when you back a motherfucker like that into a corner, all right, they coming out swinging. That's where we get Revelation 12 and 12 coming down with a great wrath, because he knows that his time is short. Let's grab this, because the Lord is controlling this guy Trump. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart, right? And Trump is the king of Babylon, right? He is. You've been having these no kings protests. He's like, I'm not a king, I'm a president. Okay? He said, I'm not a dictator. This was deception. To be able to use this facade of American diplomacy, Congress, the judicial system, the executive branch. All right, it was all a farce. It was all a facade. They used it for a time, but since Reagan, they've gotten away from that. Now they've consolidated power into the executive branch, and that gives Trump, all right, who's still controlled by the elite, still controlled by, the interest of, the tiny tops. He has to comply, and it's against American interests. It's clearly against American interests, and that's what's pissing everybody off. But it says the king's heart. Right? And that heart, meaning la'ab in the Hebrew, which is your mind, is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord put the spirit on Trump to want to turn this war up. The Lord is putting the spirit on Trump to give out these declarations. Like, if you don't get down with this shit, then we're gonna blow up more infrastructure. And this is, hell damn, you might as well call it irreversible damage. But Iran is going to dish it too. Eventually, hey, we can see this going into cyber warfare. So the Lord is controlling the mind of Trump right now. Isaiah chapter 19. And I'll actually start at verse 1. And we'll jump through this, because we're seeing a lot of this happen now. While you got your price of oil going up, over here gas about damn near $4 a gallon. It's going to keep going up. All right, we're in the time. 2 Corinthians 15, 2 Corinthians 16. Victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even this shall evils grow upon the earth. You got pestilences that are starting to fester. Meanwhile, you got these women still in this spirit of, thinking somebody fucking needs them, man. Thinking we're supposed to just worship the ground you walk on. They're completely disconnected from reality here in America. And it's going to come crashing down on them the hardest, because they've lived in this delusion. But Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. Right? Yahweh Shai is going to come to America on the fathership. says he rided upon a swift cloud. And it's not a Nimbus cloud, not like Goku riding on Nimbus, you know. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So Yahweh Shah is coming. The scriptures speak about that war in heaven. 2 Ezra 13 goes, if I'm not mistaken, 2 Ezra 13 goes into Yahweh Shah pulling up. As if he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. That's that swift cloud. It says, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians. We're seeing that. You got liberals versus conservatives, man versus woman, old versus young, rich versus poor. It says, then they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So we're seeing they're fighting within the cities, but also fighting within the kingdoms, because Russia, they're Edomite nation as well. But Russia's going to be the main country that takes part in destroying America, another Edomite nation. Verse 3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. Right? You got your wise men, you know, your Bilderberg groups, your Bohemian Groves, your Freemasons. Okay? That's the counsel. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, right? And they're going to be having, continue to have counsels with Satan, and Satan's deceiving them to help push forward prophecy. Verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord. That's Trump through the spirit, man. And a fierce king shall rule over them. Him saying we're gonna bomb this bitch tomorrow. We're gonna destroy all of Iran, which they won't. All right, because if that was the case, they would have been went in. Esau would have been went in there and did that. They know the Lord set them Iranians up, them Persians up in that land strategically. It's mountainous and shit. And there's 90 million of them, man. And you got men that are ready to fight and die behind theirs, man. But nobody wants to fight and die here. So from a moral standpoint, Iran already has the edge. It doesn't matter that America's military is bigger. You didn't kill their Ayatollah and shit, man. The son is grieving. He's lost, the closest people in his family. And now he's having to bear this burden. And his mind, the Lord is putting it in his spirit, because the Lord had his ass survive, man. The Lord is in full control of this movie, man. That's that fierce king and that cruel Lord. That's Nero's ass, man. He's bringing down the global economy, doing all type of insider trading. Just an imbecile. And everybody knows it. Hell, he be pissing Scott Ritter off so bad. And the thing is, a lot of these people voted for him. A lot of these people voted for Trump. They love Trump. They wanted to get Biden out of there. They were saying, let's go, Brandon. And then Trump got in there and did exactly what we knew through the spirit he was going to do. He was not going to uphold the interests of the American people, but rather the tiny tots. And that's what we're seeing. And that's going to lead to 2 Ezra 15, where they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're going to rise up with swords in their hands. That's where your civil war is coming from. That's where your civil unrest is coming from. And then you throw in food instability. These are the times that we're in. Gas gonna keep going up. Men ain't trying to deal with these damn women like that on the same level no more. And they don't understand. They don't understand where's the beef. They don't understand. There's a shift happening in the earth right now. The Lord is bringing down Esau's kingdom and uplifting Jacob's, Israel's. So that's interesting. We're gonna see what he does tomorrow. He giving them this deadline. All right, let's see if he all talk, or if he gonna go in there and go full throttle. We're gonna see. It's up to the Lord. Either way, prophecy is being fulfilled, man. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till the next time, Shalom.